Hello everybody and welcome. Today we are going to be reviewing the Bulova Precisionist Champlain. This is the box that it will come in. You have your outer sleeve, go ahead and take that off, and your nice Bulova branded box. Take the lid off of that and you'll see your watch. This, as I said, is the Bulova Precisionist Champlain. There are several watches in this line. This is the one that is not the chronograph. Go ahead and take this out. As far as your manual and everything goes, on the lid, actually, you can take this piece of foam out and you'll have your manual right there. Alright, so this is the watch. This is what you get. And you have this nice black dial with this rubber strap on it. Go ahead and take this off. One thing, this clasp does not come with your watch. I actually bought that clasp, afterwards because I wanted the double deployment clasp. The clasp that comes with it is this very nice Bulova branded clasp. And I also bought this nice blue carbon fiber pattern leather strap to put on it to replace this rubber one because I think the rubber and the blue, or the leather and the blue, looks much better. Sorry. Alright, so looking at the watch, we have a couple of different features about this watch. The biggest thing, and we'll jump right into it, is the movement. This is the Precisionist movement, and Bulova came out with it in 2010. And what's unique about it, if you look at the hand, that hand actually sweeps incredibly smoothly. And this is a quartz watch, a battery-powered watch that normally ticks. The reason that sweeps is because your average quartz battery beats at 32 kilohertz. And that is because there is a two-pronged quartz fork that electrical pulses are sent into that give you that tick. This watch, however, has a three-pronged piece of quartz that makes it beat at 262 kilohertz, which is roughly 8 times your average quartz, which gives you that smooth sweeping. That is actually 16 beats a second. And what's interesting about that is that most of your automatic watches, whether it be Patek Philippe, Rolex, Audemars Piguet, any of those, they actually beat at roughly 6 to 10 beats per second. So this is actually a smoother hand than anything you're going to get out of an automatic luxury watch. And it's the accuracy of a quartz movement. And Bulova claims that this is accurate up to plus or minus 10 seconds a year, which I'm a little skeptical of, but it is a very accurate watch. Now this strap is a very nice strap. It's rather flexible. It's not one of those really, really stiff, uncomfortable ones. And yes, I have the double deployment clasp, but this will normally just come with your buckle. On the dial, if you look closely, right on the background, you have that carbon fiber pattern. That isn't actual carbon fiber, it's just a pattern. Some say that it also could be a checkered flag type deal because it's considered a race watch. As you can see, it is 300 meters water resistant. One thing to note is that on the top here, you see that Bulova tuning fork. That is actually only on the older models. The newer models do not have that. Around the bezel here, you'll see that you have the marks for a tachometer, but not the actual numbers. So that's really just kind of a stylistic element because without the numbers, I mean, obviously, unless you really know your tachometers well, you're not going to be able to really know what that means. The hands and the marks are in fact coated in luminescence. However, it is not. It's not a very strong lume material. It's not super luminova or anything like that. It's just, I don't know, some average type lume. I mean, you can see it, but not incredibly well. One thing I really like is the way that on the inside you can see all of the different inner circles with the numbers on them. They're actually raised off of that dial. And another interesting fact here that's a little unique to this watch is the pie cutout over here. Rather than just having seeing the date, you can see the date before and the date after, so that's your wheel as it winds, which is kind of an interesting fact. You can see the blue here. It doesn't show up super well on camera, but these numbers down here are also in that same blue, which is one of the reasons that I got that blue strap to go with it, and I think it looks really nice. On the back, you have a screw-down back, nice branded with the Precisionist name, the Bulova, the tuning fork. Another nice thing about this is you have a screw-down crown, and this is actually a little bit unique because that crown is actually spring-loaded, so it pops out, which is kind of nice. And you can adjust your date and your time just as average, and you can go ahead and screw that back down. And this again is 300 meters water resistant. So this is a watch that you can take swimming or diving. And it's got that rubber strap, so you don't have to worry about any metal straps, and it doesn't give you too much weight. We'll go ahead and put this on the wrist just to see what it looks like. One thing that's a little interesting is this rubber right here. These little catches, these loops, are actually very, very tight. And so sometimes when you're trying to put it on, it catches and it sticks rather than sliding through, which is a little bit annoying, but it works out. So there we can see it on my wrist. It is a rather large watch. We'll go over the dimensions here in just a second. So there you can see it on the watch. It's a little bit tall as well. I do like this clasp a lot. I think it's very nice. The rubber really does feel good against the skin, and the back also feels really good. And despite it being a larger size, because you have, we'll show you here, how these lugs go straight down. Well, it looks like it goes straight down, but in reality it kind of comes straight out. But because of that, it allows it to really wrap around your wrist rather than coming straight out like a lot of watches do. So despite the larger size, it does feel well. Now we'll go ahead and go over the dimensions. Now width, we're looking at 47 millimeters, rather lengthy case. From, I guess I can't really measure the lug all that well, but we'll go ahead and just do bezel. And that's 45. And then height, which is a little bit interesting, go ahead and pull that up, is 14. Now something to note, this is the Champlain version, as I said before. There is actually a chronograph version of this watch. So it's the same idea, except for you have a very, very nice chronograph in there. And it is actually 17 millimeters tall. And that was the first one that I tried on, and so I was concerned buying this one that this one would be just as tall. But that 14 millimeters is a much more reserved height that feels much better on the wrist. The 17 feels almost like it's flopping around just because of how tall it is. So this is a very nice watch. It feels incredibly good on the wrist. And stylistically, it looks amazing, especially if you put on that the blue strap, or even a NATO strap might look okay on this watch. Another thing to note, this crystal is actually curved, not domed as you see in a lot of watches. This way, it's the same, but as you can see right there, it curves. Now, that doesn't actually do a whole lot for you. There is a new line, the Bulova Curve, where the entire case is curved, including the movement, which is an interesting thing, and I really want to get my hands on one of those. But just that top glass, just kind of as a unique factor. Also, this is not sapphire. This is actually mineral crystal, which is a little more shatterproof, but more prone to scratches. It's debatable whether that's worth the cutoff. In my opinion, I would have preferred that they have a sapphire crystal. Sorry. I love that hand, the way that it just sweeps. You could just stare at that all day. Yeah, it looks incredible. So yeah, the MSRP for this watch is right around $400 or $500. Although if you look on Amazon, eBay, those types of places, you can find it for considerably less. I've seen it for right around $200 in multiple places. And for that price, it is well worth it. An incredible looking watch. It has a lot of unique factors to it. And it's an eye catcher for sure. It is bold. It does feel very nice, but it doesn't have too much weight because you have that clasp that I showed you over there actually is really light, as well as this rubber strap is light. So even though it is a bigger case, it doesn't feel like you're wearing a brick tied to your arm. And the nice thing about Bulova is that it actually has that heritage. You know, Bulova's been around since the 1800s, and they've actually been at the forefront of a lot of watch innovations. They created the first Accutron movement, and this is brand new. Starting with Bulova is the Precisionist movement, which is a little bit scary if you ask me, because I mean, if you don't know exactly where you're getting your watch from, it could just be a quartz movement with a sweeping hand when someone's telling you it's an automatic. You know, it's just another thing to be aware of if you're looking out for frauds and false watches. So yeah, overall, an incredible watch. We'll go ahead and put it on the wrist just for the last shot. Definitely would buy again. I think it looks just phenomenal. Feels incredible. And it's a very robust watch. It's something you could take just about anywhere, whether you're hiking, swimming, diving, or just, you know, around the town. It looks fantastic. Yeah, that is the Bulova Precisionist Champlain. If you would like a more detailed description of this watch, go ahead and visit the link below, as well as some other watches that I've done. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful day.